Alright, I'm filming this just after midnight on July 1st. So, in other words, it just turned July 1st here. And bring these all back out into the thing so I can squish down a little bit more. We just turned July 1st. We just been live looking at some flashbacks to the 90s with the Johnny Rowland archive channel and looking at some old videos. And during that live chat, $100 in orders came into the gear website store. That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. That was a bunch of orders that together added up to just about $100. So we're going to be doing a pick your own free patch Friday, and we've been sewing, playing around with the machine and some designs. So I figured I would introduce some of the stuff that's going to be up for grabs this Friday at Free Patch Friday. So you can see it's our designs, but in some fancy color patterns. Let's start with some of the more unique stuff. We've got our windbreaker in the Slavic squat configuration. I usually sew these in black, and I haven't done very many. I sort of made this for myself, and I've just done a couple of others before, but normally in a black windbreaker. So this time we have a blue and a pink windbreaker. These are both going to be going into the Free Patch Friday extravaganza. Now we have these three, which are Wolverines now, but they started out life differently. And you may or may not be able to tell from the clues here what these were supposed to be, and then you can see what happened, and then I tried to salvage the materials because I'm cheap. So they're sort of a weird, unique, one-off Wolverine. Two of those will go away. Once we're down to one, I'm going to try to grab one. I just didn't really care which one I grab, so I'm going to grab one if that works out that way. Speaking of those, another one that was a glitch, an error, and I tried to make lemonade, was this. This was a weird sew out that didn't work well, and it's on this pin, what do they call this, pin dot pattern, which is our material, which is kind of a cool material. It's not really leather, but it's kind of like leather, and it sews pretty good. And I just had a piece of it that I was experimenting with, and it glitched. And it glitched on a glitch, technically. So I ended up with this sort of a weird shape and everything. And I kept one, and I'm putting these two into the pile. So somebody who's really a Wolverine collector will dig those, because you're never going to see those again. Let's see. Speaking of stuff you'll never see again, which is what we're on a kind of a roll here, I tried a different background pattern, and I'm going to do the same here. The first two will go out, and I'll keep the third one. So this is sort of a tropical pattern type of thing, and I attempted to do the Cobra Kai Wolverine on it. So I'm not sure if you like it or if you don't, if it worked or if it didn't, let us know. But there'll be three of those ever, and they'll be up for grabs. Then we've got some tie-dye stuff. So I have mastered how to sew on tie-dyes. So we have a big old weird what is he, Bigfoot with a Girl Scout sash, and then a Cobra Kai Ghost Gunner on tie-dye. Let's see, just to wrap out the Wolverines then, we've got a pink Wolverine. I've only sew those occasionally, and we got the new black material, so I wanted to check it out, and it looks like it sews pretty good. Then let's move into a couple daily gun shows. So here's a daily gun show tan and white hybrid with a weird glitch. So let's see if I can unglitch it live. So this will happen sometimes, especially with that. There's a name for that type of sew. So we'll take a lighter to it, and the idea is to get the thread to shrink, the thread to tighten up. And I don't think it's gonna. It's just a little too loose. It's actually way too loose. If I still had access to the back, I might be able to heat the back up and it might tension it, but I've already done that like 3 times. It's just not going to happen anymore. So that's going to be eventually a fray. Until then, it's a weird, glitchy, goofy thing that happened to be on a weird sew option I tried that I didn't like, a white border on a bone thread on a tan background. It's almost worthless. Then I did his two-tone. I've never done a two-tone one. I would just throw these away because I hate them, but now they're free patch glitches. Somebody wants one, it's the only way to get a weird one like that. And I might throw them away if nobody even wants them. Let's see, next up would be the chairs against the walls. We have a version 2 that I kind of glitched on, so I figure there's no point in selling that one. I don't know, I was drinking or something, but something happened. I'm going to say that a mosquito bit me, and then there was a hurricane at the same time as an earthquake. And that one didn't sew very good. So that part didn't sew very good. Then I have some color options of the first version of Chairs Against the Wall, which is the folding chair. We have one that glows in the dark. That blue one is a glow in the dark. The orange one is not. The rest of these are just some weird color options I decided to test out. I don't think I like them, but they'll be given away in the Free Patch Friday. Pick your own free patch. I think the only thing left on the table that I'm missing is this Red Dawn one. And this one I talked about a little bit on the live show. This one I was sewing out, it got to here, and the machine did the weirdest thing ever. There's a part of the machine that kind of does this, and another part that just lives here like this, sort of in a channel. And something happened, and this thing decided to flip around, and I don't really know what happened actually, but something like this happened, and I went to undo it, and it just went, okay. And it was like this, and I'm like, you don't repair from that. Like, I couldn't, it took me a while to even get it apart, and I had to take things apart to just get the parts apart. I didn't know what they were supposed to look like originally, other than they look like this when they're going, so I had to put it all back together, and it did. So I thought I lost the machine completely. I've had to take it apart. This is like the 4th time I've had to take it apart. Never this far apart, but some of these have been sewn after that glitch, so I think it's back together and working again. So the machine's at, I looked already, I think it was at many, many millions of stitches. Never been serviced professionally, just by me fiddling with it. So this one is an interesting patch that almost was the last thing we ever sewed. So if you're interested in the story behind that one, an interesting one. Almost the last one we ever sold. Now, some of these, what I do normally is if they don't get taken for the Free Patch Friday, that's where I grab them for my collection. So some of these are weird, but I figure people that are purchasing stuff get first dibs. I do keep a couple of things for myself right out of the sewing machine, but typically I'll let other people grab whatever they think is coolest first, and then I'll keep whatever they don't think is coolest. So that's a not really quick intro to what's free this week. Anything on the table is pick your own free patch. We're going to have some fun this week. I'll take something like a key like this, right? And I'll put it underneath of one of the patches, let's say. And then when everyone does their free patch stuff, let's say somebody picks that one, what they'll end up with is a cool Gear Websites box. This comes off of our robot. Last year we had stolen a robot, or 2 years ago, I guess, maybe more than that. We stole the robot a while back, and we don't get to use it very often. One of the projects we did make eventually was cutting this box out of a piece of wood, and then putting our Gear Websites logo on top of it. In wood, or in carving, I guess, in the wood. And then the box is technically to hold one of our decks of cards, which is what it's made for, but we're running out of cards. So I don't think I'm going to give you a deck of cards. And yeah, it barely fits in there. But that's what it's really for, is to put one of our decks of cards in. However, one of these patches will have a thing underneath of it, and you'll get your patch, or patches if you bought something at the store, in a cool wooden box. So that'll be not necessarily underneath of this guy, and it won't necessarily be a key. It'll be something that's hidden on the back of one of the patches, and that patch or that pick will get a little something extra. We're going to be doing something cumulative that'll be happening as well, so stay tuned to even more Free Patch Friday fun, because these were orders number like 17 to 20 or something tonight, or 24 tonight, I don't remember. So you know, it's a range of them. We're going to use the whole range of them for some fun on Friday, and as we continue with our battle against taxes and bills, we'll continue to up the odds and the chances of taking home even more thank yous from us for letting us continue to do what we value, which is working on our 2A history. Well, with that, thank you for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.